Hi everyone, and welcome to the GuideWell Insights Lounge. This is Kate Warnock coming to you on location at the Synapse Summit in Tampa, and I can't imagine a better guest than our current one, Mr. Marc Blumenthal. Marc, welcome to the interview.
Thanks, Kate. Glad to be here.
We're happy to have you. So, Marc, you are a co-founder of this amazing event and the company Synapse, as well as a managing partner at Florida Funders. So you have a tremendous background. I thought maybe we could start with, let's learn a little bit more about Synapse, the company. Tell us what you do and what your goal is.
Sure, thanks, Kate. So Synapse is a nonprofit that a number of entrepreneurs and community members decided to form for the purpose of really organizing the innovation communities throughout Florida. So what we found in the probably 2012 through 2016, 2017 timeframe, as we looked at the early stage entrepreneurship and innovation communities, we found them to be very siloed, both by geography and by industry and also by technology. So things were happening literally without people kind of knowing about them. A biotech or digital health company might be born and building, and other technology companies were also launching, and there was no collaboration. St. Petersburg would compete with Tampa, and Tampa would compete with Orlando, and it was very parochial.
Right.
And we decided that we wanted to sort of change that, to kind of look at the region and look at Florida as a whole. And in order to do that, we built this company, this organization called Synapse Florida. And we do events like the Synapse Summit. We have a digital platform called Synapse Connect to really connect every day of the year all of the players in the innovation communities. And then we have innovation challenges. We call them Synapse Challenges, and they're like mini X Prizes to sort of spark the creativity and the innovations from larger companies and nonprofits to kind of get the makers and the hackers out and to really kind of shine a light on innovation.
Terrific. Well, so if that's the goal of Synapse Florida, we're in year 2 of Synapse Summit. Tell me how it's changed from year 1. Where are we going with this event?
So Synapse Summit is a magical event, right? Our first year was in March of 2018.
Okay.
We had a little over 3,000 attendees over the course of 2 days, and we learned a lot. And we mostly got a lot of positive feedback about it. And we took that feedback, both positive and constructive, and we reconstructed the Amalie Arena. And that's why we're here today on the ice with exhibits.
Right.
That's why the stage is facing the ice. That's why we use virtually every level of the arena for exhibition and for breakout and really hands-on programming. And really the summit it's designed to really try to accomplish a couple of different things. First, it's designed to shine a light on innovation and what's already great here. Florida is not well known around the world for being the place to come and build a tech company or an innovation-based company.
Sure.
So we have to kind of get the message out about innovation living here, right?
Right.
Innovation lives here.
Right.
So that when people want to consider where they're going to build their career, build their life, build a company, they really consider Florida.
Right.
So that's one, and so there's a loud, bright light and signal coming from Synapse to the rest of the world. And there are people who travel from all over the state and all over the country to attend the event.
All right.
And then the real guts of the programming, so from every speaker on the main stage to every breakout session to every topic that's here is really purpose-driven. It's designed to create the interactions between the roles that we call our innovation partners. So every thriving ecosystem on Earth, if it's been baselined, if people talk about it, like Silicon Valley or Austin or Boulder or New York, it's made up of these 8 roles, right? Government, education, investors, entrepreneurs, service providers, entrepreneurial support organizations, and large companies are all organized around kind of working together. So large companies like yours sort of support innovation and entrepreneurship through everything from innovation centers to talent pipelining,
Sure.
to innovation challenges, and sometimes funding.
Right.
Investors put their money to work. Entrepreneurs are helping the next group of founders with advice and counsel and sometimes capital that they get from exits that they ultimately have. Educational institutions are working on the talent pipeline, but they're also working on tech transfer, right? We have 28 research institutions in Florida. That IP, that technology that they're working on, some of that is ready for commercialization. So we need to connect the people who are capable of commercializing with the technology. We need to connect the money with the technology. And it's this beautiful dance that happens when everybody can see one another and connect in a purposeful way.
Right. Well, you've given us such a great background to understand, that parochial fragmented system really at the end of the day isn't going to serve anyone. So you're really there to help aggregate, share that knowledge, and really propel people forward in a more meaningful way. With that, I was hoping to get your perspective on two elements that I've heard from our other guests here in the Insights Lounge have been so critical, and that's the talent pipeline and funding. How have they evolved, in your opinion, since you've come into this role?
So the talent pipeline has evolved in a number of different ways. First, we have our universities that are actually engaging now in what the market needs.
Right.
So there was a time in the not too distant past where the objective of the university system was to produce well-rounded young men and women. Today, if you talk to, say, Dean Moaz Lamayan and others at University of South Florida and some of the other great institutions, you hear them saying, our role is to create students who will get 100% employment in the career of their choice, right? It's a slightly different.
It's a great goal, isn't it? For anyone in school, they're
especially,
like,
yeah.
yes.
And especially mom and dad always want that for certain,
sure,
right?
Yes.
So, that's a very different thing, and you're starting to see industry partnering with education, not only for the underlying curriculum, but for certification programs.
Right.
So for non-credit courses, like anti-money laundering or cybersecurity, like our friends at ReliaQuest are working with USF on. So that's one thing. And then another thing is that over 1,000 people a day move to Florida, and they have skills. They're coming to Florida oftentimes from other parts of the country, sometimes places that have higher taxes, sometimes places that are colder, sometimes places that have less opportunity. So once they understand what opportunity exists in Florida, our talent pipeline is moving here every day. And the key is, how do you line them up with the opportunity? How do they find out what's not posted? Because most of these jobs that they're in development, they're network-based jobs.
Right.
They're if the right person showed up, a job would be made available. They're not all kind of, on Indeed or something, waiting for someone to apply for them. So that's really a big part of what we're trying to do at Synapse is the magic happens with these collisions that happen in the hallway, these people bumping into each other going, well, you do what? So if you look at like our Defense Innovation Hub is sort of right near the health tech hub and right near the blockchain hub. And you start to realize that there's there's a lot of similarity between all those things. It's not, defense isn't like planes and bullets. It's all of the same things that we all deal with. And so we're seeing people who are special operators transitioning out of the military, finding opportunities in civilian life with companies that are doing, in many ways, what they did in the military. Cybersecurity, blockchain, logistics, supply chain, risk management. So that's really the magic of it all. Right. It's really what happens in the hallway, so to speak.
Absolutely. All right. So, and real fast, again, your funding. You tell me how that's evolved. What's changing?
So, it used to be that our best and brightest entrepreneurs would have a difficult time finding funding. This was not too many years ago. You'd constantly hear this mantra of like, I have to leave for funding. I'm going to Silicon Valley, I'm going to New York, I'm going to Austin, I'm going to Boulder, because that's where the money is. And that's beginning to change. Firms like Florida Funders are rallying non-traditional tech investors, so real estate and car dealers and people who made money in healthcare, to allocate a percentage of their investable net worth to technology companies in Florida, both as a sound strategy, but also to spark the innovation economy. So you're starting to see a lot more capital come to bear, not just from institutional players from outside the area, but you have institutional players who are raising funds here, but then you have all of the tremendous wealth that exists with what you might term angel investors, starting to become more organized. So you're starting to see a lot more volume of deals being funded. You're starting to see larger deals being funded. And then you're starting to see some of the venture capital firms from around the country, like in Austin and in San Francisco and in New York, putting their money to work here. Because these companies don't have to move to be successful.
Right.
They can thrive and grow right here in Florida.
Well, it sounds like you're really creating kind of a new center of gravity in an untapped market. So that's how exciting for all of us,
Yeah.
right? All right, one last question for you then. Kind of overall, the state of innovation in Florida, maybe forecast for us, where do you think we'll be 3 to 5 years from now? Are we going to be a competitor with the Silicon Valleys of the world, or are we still going to be kind of inching our way there?
Well, it depends on how you want to measure competition.
Okay.
Right? Silicon Valley and Tel Aviv and New York and Austin are always going to be thriving ecosystems. The interesting thing about the trend, Steve Case wrote a book called The Third Wave, and it talks about sort of this, what's really coming in innovation. And it's things like agriculture technology and supply chain and health technologies, whether they be digital or biotech companies and other things, where the closeness to customers and the deep subject matter expertise in legacy industries matter more than your proximity to kind of money and certain talent pools. So for example, there's a company here called Harvest Crew that is an ag tech company, and they've built this tremendous robot that picks strawberries. And it is going to revolutionize the agriculture industry, and most notably the strawberry industry.
It's fantastic.
And they're doing it not because they're trying to displace labor. There's actually a giant labor shortage.
Absolutely.
It's huge.
Absolutely.
I mean, strawberries are dying on the vine, and if we solved it only with human labor, strawberries would be like $100 for a pallet, and not that many people would buy the strawberries.
Right.
So that innovation is actually more effectively done here in Plant City
Right.
than it is almost anywhere else in the world.
Right.
And the leader of that is a guy named Gary Wisnowski, who runs Wish Farms, who's been in the strawberry business for 3
about that?
generations.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to see Florida really thrive in all different kinds of innovation. We have SOCOM here. You look at your organization and you look at all the hospital systems that we have. I think you're going to see biotech and life sciences really thrive here.
Right.
I think you're going to see digital health
Right.
really thrive here. Really, it's gotten to the point where almost anything can. Esports and gaming, Orlando and Tampa are centers of that. Next to LA, they're the most popular place. You have EA and Disney.
Right.
So all of these things in Magic Leap, you're going to find that the ecosystems and talent build up, and the investment ecosystem build up, and I think 5 years from now, you're not going to recognize the state.
Wow. Well, Marc, thank you so much for kind of painting such a fascinating and really exciting picture for what to look ahead. And I think that Synapse Florida is really doing its part to provide that spark and, like I said, create that new center of gravity. So
Super.
We're all here and grateful for the role you've played. So
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your time here in the GuideWell Insights Lounge. This is Kate Warnock. Thanks for watching.